here, first things first. Our game of the night, undefeated Seahawks against the 4-2 Cardinals. And what a night of offense we had. Kyler Murray finishing with 427 total yards and 4 touchdowns. On the other side, Russ almost 500 total yards and 3 touchdowns. But he had those 3 costly picks, including the big one in overtime that set up Arizona's game-winning field goal. Cardinals win 37-34. All right, Mike Vick back with us now. Mike, you surprised Kyler Murray went toe-to-toe with Russ last night?
No, I'm not surprised. I think Kyler Murray can go toe-to-toe with any quarterback in the National Football League right now. He's just that good. And, you know, I never thought that I would see 2 quarterbacks on the same stage, both under 6 feet, and just, you know, wreaking havoc. You know, both of these guys are hard to guard. Kyler Murray, he's just developing at a rapid rate. I think the offense has been suited and built around him, and he's very comfortable. You know, I talked to him over the summer on numerous occasions, and the only word that stood out was his comfort level. So, you know, he's been getting ready for moments like this. You know, he feel like this is his time, and just the right amount of weapons around him just makes this guy a force. And you know, he's hard to tackle. He can beat you in the run game. He can beat you in the pass game. And you know, I know I'm talking about things that we see and it's evident, but you know, you just got to put the spotlight on him because this guy is going to continue to get better and better. And I think he's paired with the right coach too. So, you know, Kyler Murray is here to stay, and he's going to be a problem in this league for a long time. And like I see him breaking a lot of records and doing some remarkable things, you know, at the quarterback position.
Kyler was great, and I thought, to be totally honest, he overcame some very questionable Cliff Kingsbury strategic decisions late.
Yeah.
But I want to throw it back to you, Mike, because I said at the top of the show, Kyler was going up against the guy that made Kyler's career possible. Former baseball player, under 6 feet tall, a dual threat quarterback. If Russ wasn't as successful as he had been, Kyler doesn't go #1 in the draft. But I want to ask you a personal question. When you watch these 2 guys on Sunday Night Football, first game ever where 2 quarterbacks throw for 300 and run for 60. They're doing it with their arm and their legs. Is there a part of you, this is going to sound a little corny, but almost seems like a proud dad? Like this, the way the NFL is, these 2 guys going up against 2 of the best teams in the league, like I got that ball rolling. And, you know, if not for Mike Vick, we don't have this matchup on Sunday night. Like, personally, am I reading too much into that, or is there something there?
No, it's definitely something there because, you know, ultimately I took pride in my game and the way I could step into a stadium and beat you and get out of that stadium with a win. And ironically, last night I was holding my 2-year-old son, and I was watching Kyler Murray scramble on, I think it was the 3rd and 8, and he came up short, but he was scrambling around and he was moving and grooving. And I'm sitting there watching the TV, and I woke up and I looked up, and my son was just staring at the screen and off. And he's 2 years old, and I'm like, he didn't get it, but the effort was there, you know. And right then and there, I seen something in my son. We had a moment last night. I seen something in my son, and it came through Kyler, and it came through Kyler and Russ, man. So, you know, yes, I'm proud of the way these guys are approaching the game, and you know, they look like they're doing it with ease. But I think more importantly, these guys have the right coaching around them, and coaches make good players great, and that's the long and short of it.
Yeah, Mike, I'll throw another theory out there. Your son was watching the game and said, wow, I could probably pick up some yards on this Seahawks defense, too. Get me in. Dad, go grab my cleats from my room because they're giving up 480 yards. Doesn't matter. Kyler's not that tall. I'm not that tall. Let me get in there and cook. Brandon, this team is terrible. This team is halfway good. And the idea that we're sitting here and we're putting them like, oh, we're going to have like undefeated teams, Steelers versus Seahawks. Well, the Steelers are good on both sides of the ball, and this team is not. It's the most obvious flaw in the entire NFL, and everyone wants to ignore it because Russ keeps cooking.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're right. Wow, I wouldn't say they're terrible. They're still a contender. But when I sit back and I look at the, you know, my predictions, I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know, coming into this last game against the undefeated Titans, I was like, okay, let's see who they really are. And then Big Ben stood up and he threw a couple picks. And I'm like, man, you playing against the good teams, the Ravens, the Chiefs, that gets you beat. So he needs to clean that up. So that's something that we can't see happen in Pittsburgh if they want to continue on this amazing season. And then when you shift to Seattle, that defense, that's their biggest speed bump. They need to figure out how to fix this because they continue to have guys go down game after game after game. I don't know if they can fix it because it's a personnel issue. Last night, I thought Kyler was spectacular. He played big in moments, and he also played to his youth at times. But when it counted, he took over and he made big plays. And there's something interesting that we also need to look at. You know, I thought I was entering my prime when it came to year 10. This guy, D-Hop, is a monster. And the way they play football and their approach to the game, these two over the next couple years can be a problem in the NFL. D-Hop looked like he's entering into his prime, and that's scary to say. But to me, last night was more about the Seattle Seahawks losing the game than Kyler and D-Hop playing spectacular. I thought Russell Wilson, you know, made some costly mistakes, Nick, and then also the 4-minute. The 4-minute situation, Mike Vick, I don't know how you feel about it, but as a wide receiver, I hate when we go conservative and we don't play to win. They had 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in the game. They ran it 5 times. They punted it. And then went back to the Cardinals, 52 seconds. They drive down, kicked the field goal, tied up, Nick, and then it was the end of discussion.
Well, and listen, one other quick thing, Jenna. I don't know if you guys could hear it while Brandon was talking, but you heard a door creaking open, and that was the MVP door. And walked in that room was Aaron Rodgers. Patrick Mahomes sauntered on in. Derrick Henry's like, what about me? Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald are like, hey, I'm here too. Tom Brady's like, hey, don't forget about me. Because Russell Wilson was in that room by himself, Jenna. And now all of a sudden, it is a very crowded room 7 weeks into the season. Russell Wilson opened that door at those 3 picks yesterday.
How you sneak Mahomes in there? Mahomes threw for 200 yards. How you sneak him in there?
16 touchdowns, 1 pick. 16 touchdowns, 1 pick. Most wins in football.
Hey, guys, play of the night. Play of the night, by far. Russell Wilson picked off by Budda Baker. How about DK Metcalf? 22 miles an hour down the field, covered 114 yards to save this from a touchdown. I can't watch this enough today. An incredible hustle play. Mike Vick, how impressive was this?
It was very impressive. You know, coaches will praise you more for a play like that than they will for a touchdown reception or a touchdown run. And another moment where I wanted to pull my 2-year-old son in the room and say, watch this play. This is all effort because at some point, if you play ball, you might have to do this. And to the message to all the kids out there, man, it's no substitution for effort. This was an amazing play by DK Metcalf. Probably one of the greatest plays that he'll ever make in his career.
So true, Mike. You know, there's the one-handed touchdowns, the one-handed grabs. There's the big games. Tyler Lockett went for 200 yards, 15 receptions. But these are the plays that you dream up as a player, especially someone who really cares and passionate about the game, because you know that this makes what we call the highlight tape. Coach is going to show this to everyone and say, this is how we do it. This type of play gets you that C on your chest to be the captain. He is a freak. I said it a couple weeks ago. Nick laughed at me. Well, he didn't really laugh at me, but he didn't know if I was being serious. But he is the best wide receiver in the game right now.
Nick, I never got a vote on this when all of a sudden we decided to refer to everything as miles per hour. It's like DK Metcalf, as fast as a slow car. Like, what? I would like to go back to like 40 times or something like that. Like 21 miles an hour. Like, like
it makes it less impressive almost.
It's a bad stat.
It's a great take, Wilds. And Jenna, I'll just leave it at this. There's only one other receiver in the league that could have tracked down Budda Baker, and it's Tyreek Hill. But he'll never get the chance because Mahomes wouldn't have made that mistake, Jenna.
All right, I'm sorry, Wilds. We do have to discuss what the Patriots did yesterday. We're going to do that on the other side. It wasn't great. Buckle up. We got to do it. Much more first things first.